Good morning, everybody that is here. Sorry, I'm a little bit late. I had a true panic attack because my computer wasn't turning on. It was absolutely just a glitch. It was fine, but I was I'm like actually sweating. Like I'm a little nervous. Let me see if I can go live on Instagram as well. Let's see. Make sure I can do that. Okay, I think I'm live on Instagram now. Let me make sure I've got this muted so I don't hear everything. Okay, I'm here. Welcome to She's Speaking with Emily Hanks. This is the weekend watch recap. We're going to be doing Traitors. We're going to do Drag Race. Hi to the chat. Hi, Amy. Hi, Stephanie. Hi, Marguerite. Thank you guys. Hi, Katie. I'm so excited to do this on a weekend. I don't know what I was thinking doing them on an afternoon, a Monday and a Friday afternoon. What was I thinking? I'm a Monday morning type of gal. Did I say Monday? I'm a morning, like a weekend morning. I love them. Hi, Max. Good morning on a rainy day. I love a good rainy morning, rainy weekend morning. That was unnecessarily difficult for me to say. Okay, it's just Harlem, girl. This truly was one of the best episodes of Drag Race in a while. I think this was the best Rusical we've had in I don't even know how long. It was so good. I was watching it like, this is Broadway. We are on Broadway, everybody. Let me go say hi over here on Instagram. Hello, Instagram specifically. Hi. Always keep shining, beautiful soul inside and out. I'll take it. Thank you. I'll take it. Snowing in Michigan. It's snowing for a lot of you. God. So much snow. See, this is the thing. If you are raising your kids in Los Angeles, just know it's real hard for us to live in other weather. The thought of living in snow is so foreign to me. And it actually limits where I could live. Like I thought about living in New York. I'm like, I can't handle the snow. I don't know what to do. I don't have very thick skin in terms of that. Okay, let me get my notes pulled up so that I'm not blocking anything. Let me just say one last hello over here on Instagram. Hi, Instagram. Okay. Let's get into this, shall we? I think I'm going to do like I normally do. I think I'm going to stick with Drag Race at the top. Okay, guys. Happy Saturday. Let's do this. Okay, Drag Race. I thought Plasma was going to be terrible. I'm not going to lie. The way Plasma was just insufferable about that damn Rusical. I was like, oh, she is going to crash and burn. And it's going to be terrible. I was wrong. I was so wrong. She fucking nailed it. You hear me? She nailed it. She watched Sound of Music as a kid. So did I. Okay. I could have done a whole probably private one-woman show of Sound of Music as a child. I watched it all the time. Loved it. Watching it as an adult, I'm like, God, this is a sad little movie. I also watched West Side Story. West Side Story, Sound of Music. Morphine, she is very bitter because she did not get the lead. And she does a nice callback. I should have been Black China, bitch. It's a true thing what they say. We saw it with Jinx Monsoon. You don't take any small roles. You make a small role big. That is not like just, silly things you say in theater and acting and all that shit. It's true. You turn any role into a role, into something that's worthwhile. I actually thought Morphine didn't do as bad as they claimed. To me, I think the Morphine notes were more because of the story they were telling, because that does happen where if they're having an issue in the workroom, production's like, okay, so she was really struggling with the part she got. And they're like, oh, so we should put her on the bottom so that she learns her lesson type of thing. I feel like they totally do shit like that, Megami, though, let's talk about Megami for a second. When I was in high school and then when I studied acting a little bit in my early 20s, like I've met Megamis left and right. And Adam Shankman will say it later when they do the judging, like without anyone there, just them as the judges. Megami only shows up for what she feels is interesting, and everything else she's like, I don't like that. I don't want to do that. How come they get to do that? I don't like that. Also, Megami cannot, does anyone else notice Megami cannot make eye contact? Megami looks down. So like if you're the person that are talking to, Megami's like this. I don't know. I mean, I guess like there wasn't a lot of choreo, and I get it's really weird. It's so weird when people can't make eye contact so purposely. Like you're purposely not looking anyone in the eyes. It's very weird. But when you come from that place of like, I could have done that better, I have to do this instead, then you'll never ever get anything because no one's handing you exactly what you want. They're handing you what you get. You make what you can of it. So I've just known so many Megamis that feel kind of like victims. Like I could have done, I would have done X, Y, and Z instead, or whatever it is. So she went up against Q for a role and then lost in rock, paper, scissors. So of course she's going to be upset and worried that she will fade into the background and then talk a bunch of shit and whatever. Speaking of Q, I did not have a lot of faith in Q either, but she turned it out. She faked it. She gave us, I was in no way nervous when she was up there. Like when she was on the stage, I wasn't like, oh no. I mean, maybe a little. Not really though. I think more just because I saw rehearsals. But if I hadn't seen rehearsals, I wouldn't have known to be nervous. Hold on, let me take a sip of this. Tsunami, Q, and Plane, though, were actually kind of annoying when they were walking around the workroom being like the villains. And also, like, when you Megami's way too sensitive and serious to tease at this point. I think it was Plane too. Plane doesn't care. Plane doesn't care that she's already got a reputation of being so fucking mean. Maybe she should try not to be that mean. She's like, I don't care. I'm going to keep doing my bit. I said I would do a bit, and I'm going to do this bit. Megami was not having it. Not having it. So when they get to the rehearsal, Megami is all hating over there in that rehearsal, whatever, like where they watch, which is so shady when you think about it. Almost any time anyone's on stage rehearsing, there's like a burst of laughter or whatever. And if you're insecure up on that stage, like this is such an intense experience for these performers. This is so intense. They're up on stage learning choreography from Adam Shankman. Then you hear like, like all that. Look at my hands. I got spray tan yesterday and they're so uneven. Damn it. It's my fault. She did nothing wrong. She is perfect. Blair, go to Beauty by Blair if you need a spray tan in LA. And she's mobile, but I went to her. But yeah, it's my fault. Adam Shankman they did this bit where he's like, I'm a little behind, guys. I got my assistants coming in. And then in walks Melissa McCarthy as the assistant. But there's some bit about her. Like she spills all the Starbucks. And then she's throwing cheese and being distracting. And then Adam's like, guys, focus. And then she leaves, but on her way out, she's like, guys, I just want to say how it's a super sweet moment. Like I was a little teared up and choked up myself. But it was such a strange bit. Also, it seemed like Adam wasn't in the mood for it, but I couldn't tell if that was just his role he was playing. So Adam Shankman he's been around for forever. Okay, that's just how it is. And I ended up taking a class from him. I mean, I can't even tell you how old I was. I was young. And I'm acting like I was probably like 21. I don't know. I can't remember. But he was after the class, he was talking to like his people or whatever. And there was this other dancer. I always took classes with older, like seasoned dancers. So I wasn't like in a trendy dance class ever. I was always with like the broads who were 20 years older than me, who've been doing it forever. Like that's who I took class with. And they were, he was talking to like his people. And then these other dancers were over there like, God, he's in such a fucking mood. God, he's such a dick today. I hate when he's in these moods. And so that always stuck with me because then he was on So You Think You Can Dance and he's just done so much shit. He's so accomplished. But there were moments on So You Think You Can Dance too where I was like, oh, he's in a mood. And I felt like he was in one of his moods during this rehearsal. And I thought maybe I'm just picking up on it weird. But even when they did in Untucked, when he goes backstage, he's like, I hope I wasn't too mean today, guys. Okay, cool. I was, and they didn't feel like he was. They didn't feel at all like he was, honestly. But I could notice it. And I bet he was like, I was in a mood today. because he wasn't smiling. He wasn't really into the bit with Melissa McCarthy. I was like, oh, he's in one of his moods. Look at his with his reputation, living up to it. This fucking green, this matcha latte is giving me everything I need right now. Hold on. My God. Sponsor, as if Starbucks ever would have to do a sponsor on my podcast. They're like, don't worry, we're fine. I don't even know if they do ads anymore. Q, though, during rehearsal was true Frankenstein. I think Megami called her Frankenstein. She was. It was like, what is happening? It's just walking. I don't know what classes Q should be taking, but she needs to take something. She needs to, almost knocked over my entire stand. But anyway, she pulls it out. It doesn't really matter. Q plane and Q, Tsunami plane and Q are all really struggling, but it ends up being completely amazing. I thought everybody did great. I'm going to rewatch this over and over again. It's going to be one of those Drag Race things that I go back and repeatedly watch, like the All-Star Season 2 talent show. Oh, I don't know how many times I've watched that. Fucking so good. Okay, actually, let me look at the chat. Let me see what you guys are talking about over here on the chat-a-rooney. Hi, everyone here in the chat. I love how Plasma is like now a lovable, annoying theater person. Like, I'm still rooting for her. It's crazy. Yeah, she is definitely like an annoying theater person. They're real. They're real people. Those are real people. Can't believe these girls are content with rock, paper, scissors. Like, no way I'm fighting for this role. You know, I feel like they don't have any other way to go about it at some point. Like, at some point, it's a complete standstill. It's just, what else are they going to do? Let me go over to Instagram. Hi, Instagram. It wasn't the same day. I think they might have gotten a weekend or a day off during the week because they want them to kill it. Oh, I don't know what that was in reference to. Okay, let's see what we got in here. Hi, everybody here over on Instagram. There's so many of you, I think. Or actually, I don't know. I can't tell. Loving the Angie K shades. Thank you. Thank you. These were in the Wendy's press box. Wendy's sent, I'm sure, a bunch of people PR boxes for BravoCon that were Lisa Barlow inspired, and these were in there. They're a good cover up when I don't feel like I don't have time for makeup. Excuse me. Okay. Let's see. They're getting ready. They're getting all dolled up, and we find out Plain was actually into ballroom dance, but quit because he was told that's what gay people do. Gay people do ballroom dance, which is just ironic because I don't feel like Plain really cannot dance. So she should have stayed in that ballroom class. Rue's look tonight, it's kind of crazy. Not my fave. Not my fave. It's just like Rose's florally top thing with a black and white striped midsection, a light blue skirt, gloves past the elbow, and this red wig that kind of looks like it's just clashing with that roses on top situation. Excuse me. It was a mess, in my opinion. Too much. Edit. But okay. Rusical time. Morphine, I thought Morphine was cutting it up. I thought Morphine was really giving it in that performance. I thought Morphine was doing wonderfully. So I don't know well, again, I think it's just whatever. So I find Saphira during some of the dance numbers, she goes kind of dead in the face. However, she pulled it the fuck out. Maya, on the other hand, is just counting the whole time. Like it's full, like 5, 6. What are you guys doing? Sing a little bit of my song. 5, 6. It's very, very, very county. Plasma, though, damn. Woo! Killed. Hit every single beat. Did not get tired. Had that energy the whole entire time. Wow. Truly great. Saphira's musicals number, the solo, so solid. Megami, Dawn, and Nymphia, they're all good for sure, but Megami was definitely counting and struggling. Like there was so much count. She looks down. She looks down all the time, looking down. Like it really it changes things. You can't connect that way. And it's all incredible. The final Mariah and the Van Traps number, though, was a little rough because there was some dance elements to it that were just like, oh, this is all over the place, and that they weren't necessarily the dancers. But Nymphia was so funny, the pinecone character, like just stayed perfect. It was so perfect because of the banana pinecone, just like it made sense. I loved it. It was fabulous. In the runway. Now, also, what is so crazy about Drag Race is they make them rehearse this fucking musical, and then they're like, and also do a runway. Also pull out a runway look. Like I've every time they do a Rusical, I'm like, don't make them do a runway. Let them just do the Rusical and stand up there and get your notes. It's hard. Oh my God, I'm so exhausted for them. They used to do more twists and things too on Drag Race. I mean, maybe that's more all stars, but they used to like, this would be one of those weeks where Rue would come in and be like, oh, and another thing. And you're like, no, they can't handle anymore. Leave them alone, you mean, horrible people. Please. Okay, but the runways, I could buy myself flowers. Plasma looks amazing. Plasma, it's an incredible, like the yellow roses, and an ode to Funny Girl. Well done. Saphira has an entire flower like wing situation. It's pretty amazing. Morphine does a hippie thing, which I didn't hate, but it wasn't until Adam late. Oh God, I have one of those leaf blowers that just decided to start right outside my window. I don't know, you guys, I don't think you understand. I hate those things. I hate them. They're so distracting. They're also, I thought we outlawed them. They're so bad for the environment. There's exhaust coming out of them and just blowing leaves around. They don't do anything. They should suck them up. They should suck the leaves in. Then I'm here for it. Just blowing them all around. What was I talking about? Now I'm gonna have the hardest time concentrating. Oh yeah, but when Adam said about Morphine's sleeves, he's like, I don't love that they're unfinished, unlined, and I can see. I was like, oh, that's what it was. That's why I sometimes love those judges. They know these things. They are professionals, you see. And they said, and he was like, yeah, it's not lined. I go, that's what it made it look like off the rack kind of. It cheapened it. It really did. It really did cheapen it. Maya does a red glitter showgirl rose type of thing, which is fine. I guess. Dawn is a ghoul inspired dead flowers on gravestones situation. I thought it was exactly safe. I thought it was safe was exactly where I thought Dawn belonged for this one. Megami does like a Britney Spears at the VMA's wedding dress look with a ton of flowers on it. I can't tell what's wrong with the front, but there's something a little off, but not terrible at all. Q is a whole like mantis creature with this dope pink makeup. It was so cool. The makeup was mesmerizing, honestly. Plain just to me, it looked like Plain is sort of running out of outfits or bits or whatever, because she's just wearing a mini dress with like a Rapunzel hair bit, and I'm just not gagged. And the only reason I'm going to be that hard on anybody is when they're that hard on people. Okay. You know, it's like, if you're going to be like that, then we're going to read you to filth if you don't get it together. You know what I mean? And Imphia's is super cool, but there might be something, I can't tell if there's something off with the execution maybe or not. It's super cool. It's like a, where if she crosses her arms in front, then it becomes this big rainbow of whatever. It did look like a duvet cover, but it was cool. Very, very cool. Tsunami's is confusing. Very much I get the idea, but it was not executed right. And I'm glad that they addressed it in Untucked, because when she explained it like, this is the thing and then here's the flowers, like, oh, it should have been flipped, honey. Should have gone up the other direction. But okay, the proportions were off, the way the top was and stuff. So with the judges, they live for Plasma, they live for Saphira, they live for Morphine too, except the unlined sleeves. And then they loved her energy in the performance, but needed her to bump it up more. I don't know. I thought Morphine did fine. I'd actually disagree. I will not accept that note. I shan't. Maya gets all the notes you would expect. Maya, it's like, what do we even say? Megami gets a note that Michelle nails. She nails it. She says, I'm getting the same face, not in terms of the drag, but the same point of view. And it's so true. It's the same, like, I can't do it because of my Botox, but it's the same, like, angsty, always, I don't know. It's the same exact face. That's exact same point of view. I'm stealing that. They live for Q and the choreo, and Megami is seething. What choreo? What choreo? So then in Untucked backstage, Megami, I'm sorry, she looked like a sore little loser over there, just like pouting and looking straight. And then she's also like throwing all this shade towards Q. Let me go down to my notes on that one. Um, she's talking about how, like, what choreo, she says it, what choreo, but she won't look anyone in the eye. That's weird to me, to not look anybody in the eye, looking straight down. Like, all I know is that, oh, because Hugh goes, well, I sold it, and that was what the issue with with your performance was, wasn't it? And Megami just goes, that's because I was learning such intense choreo. So funny. If I don't have to focus on choreo, then I can put my energy into the character, which is what I love about drag. Girl, shut up. Shut up. You had a great role. Okay, you had a great role. Yes, it was very choreography heavy. And yes, Q would have looked ridiculous in it. But you also would have looked just as ridiculous in Q's role. You know, it's not, you don't just get to say, I could have done that. Well, do it. I don't know if I believe you. I don't know. I don't know if I believe you. It's not like Megami can handle all types of choreo. See, they won that one damn girl challenge and they're like, oh, we're in. And I was like, I still stand by that. I didn't think they were that amazing. Okay. It's just a good story because they were the ones who are being doubted. So, like, if you're being doubted and then you do well, it's like, oh, look at us counting people out. So, you know what I mean? Tsunami steps in. Tsunami's like, this is Untucked. And Tsunami is like, well, you had a lot to say in rehearsal. And actually, I was kind of done with you then. And they cut to her being so shady and loud and bitchy at the rehearsals. But Megami does some like lip service again. And I don't know if there is a producer going like, wrap it up cute, because they always end up finding a way to laugh it off. This is on all Drag Race. maybe not all. There have been a few fights that were like, oh, this is real. But for the most part, these queens, they have such fucking thick skin. And they can have this fight and then someone makes them laugh and it's over. It's over. But that's when Adam comes in and he's very concerned. He's like, was I being a dick? Was I being a dick? They're like, no, you were amazing. You were great, whatever. But when they get called back to the stage, Megami gives Tsunami a whole moment and feels really bad. And I could tell she does feel really bad. She says, I was jealous and I was insecure and that was me and I'm sorry. And I feel like Tsunami is so great at receiving criticism and working through things. And she even says, like, the sign of maturity is how you handle conversations like this. I could be friends with Tsunami, I feel like Tsunami and I could be really good friends. I feel like we are good friends, right? No? Okay. Something I noticed as Rue was doing this setup for announcing the winners and the losers, like, Q, today you were a flower power or whatever the fuck, how she does all that. Megami still doesn't look. She just stares down. And it's something I wouldn't really notice it because, like, I don't know exactly, but everyone else is looking at a certain point because clearly that's where the judges are. But Megami is just looking down here, looking down like this, looking straight down. It's kind of wild. So there's a lip sync. And once again, Maya gets it, but not because of her flips this time. No, because Megami is in heaven, right? She thinks, oh my God, I'm going to give angst. I'm going to give drama. But the essence of the song is not angst and drama. It's actually quite the opposite. And Maya gives no flips, but she owns that fucking song. She takes her shoes off and she goes to church. It was so good. Fabulous. Wonderful. I'm like, oh, okay. Because that's the kind of performer Maya is. And she's a club performer. She's a local drag club performer. And she is so talented that way. Drag Race is its own specific thing. A lot of the time, it does not take away from your talent as a local drag performer. If anything, it'll make it better. But it's just so different. They're like, this is a whole other thing. And it's got a lot of opportunity that comes with it. And that's why if you want it, you got to work really hard for it. Megami makes the same face the entire time, though. The entire time, it's the same thing. There's no range. So obviously, Megami doesn't get it. And it was her time to go. But I feel like at this point with Drag Race, it's going to be kind of obvious who goes next, right? Like they just kind of keep getting rid of the people who obviously like next will probably be, oh, I hope not Morphine. Who else is left? I hope not Tsunami. Jasmine! Hi, Jasmine. Hi, Elizabeth. Hi, Tiffany. Hi, guys. ATX Mel. Hello. Good morning. Just Kelly. Hello. Hi, guys. Okay. Who else is that? Whatever. Well, we kind of know. We're gonna get Q, Saphira. Ew. Q, Saphira, Dawn, Nymphia. Nymphia, who deserves some more accolades, some more acknowledgement. But yeah, Morphine is up in the air and Tsunami is up in the air for sure. Just because like they keep getting notes. Plane. I'm not gagged over Plane. I don't think Plane is going to get as far as I think we thought initially, which is fine. Okay, which is fucking fine. All right. Now it's time for Traitors. Traitors. Well, let me write this down. Okay. Sandra and Parvati. Sandra says about Parvati, because, the big thing is it's probably Parvati. She's the whatever. Sandra goes, Parvati and I have a history, and it's not a great history. So I was like, I don't know why I like that. I'm like, yeah, good. I don't know why I liked that. It's like, that's kind of what what I'm watching this show for, is having this, like, the rivalry that you're coming in with, which is sort of why I was excited to see CT and Bananas. But I've moved on. Okay. I've let it go. From that. Everyone is super sad about Bergie because Bergie was the one who was murdered. Look at the way they tricked us. They had us thinking it was between Trishelle and MJ. And we were like, don't you even fucking think about it. But they're like, no, it's Bergie. And then when they show it's Bergie, I'm like, oh yeah, that makes way, way more sense. Way more sense. I forgot Trishelle is a poker player. So I don't know, you guys, I don't talk about this a lot. I'm not bragging by any means. But I went through a phase where I was obsessed with watching Texas Hold'em tournaments. Poker tournaments were my thing. I actually knew Eileen's husband, Vince, from those because he was really funny doing the commentary on the poker games. So I forgot that that's where I recognized Trishelle. And so, yeah, she is a poker player. So she notices Phaedra. Everyone's sad about Bergie, and Phaedra's like, give me the butter and the jam today. Am I right? Like, Phaedra is only concerned about the food. So Trishelle's like, I'm noticing that. And also, Phaedra has a little twitch in her eye. Now, you see, I think that scared the shit out of Phaedra for a second. I mean, don't get me wrong. She got out of it. But I think that a tell is something you cannot fix. And if both Kevin and Trishelle are noticing it, it's there. And I could tell Phaedra was like, oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. But then she got out of it. She's amazing. But it's a thing you can't help that. That's what's really hard about a twitch or whatever like that. So Trishelle then tries to convince Peter and Kevin to vote Phaedra because her thing is Parvati has nobody. So the votes won't go in her way. And see, this is where I'm very bad at these games and like strategizing and thinking about numbers and how things work out. But also, she's totally right about figuring out what Dan did. Because let's think about it this way. Dan knew he was up for banishment, right? He wouldn't have been fighting for Phaedra only to have them vote for Phaedra, banish her, and then have Phaedra say, I'm a faithful. Because then he would just be putting a target on his back. And he was trying to get the target off of his back. So it only makes sense that he was trying to get out of another traitor and push them off of him. So she's totally right. That's exactly what happened. Totally right. So go Trishelle. It was funny because Peter has been kind of like taking such lead that he was having a very hard time giving it up to Trishelle. He's like, I'm just trying to get us through one more night. And she goes, okay, yeah, I'm thinking 3 steps ahead, Betty. But Trishelle has to tell Peter, manipulate, lie to Parvati, lie to her, convince her that you're on her side. See, Peter doesn't get this part of these types of games. This is what's hard about it. There is lying involved at some point. And Trishelle's like, that's what we do. Think about all the times I've watched the challenge where they've made 3 different deals with different people. Like, oh yeah, totally. I won't say your name. I'll say this person's name. And then they say the exact same thing to someone else. It's just part of the game. So Peter does not get that part yet. He thinks he's going to be like all valiant and honorable the entire time. No, sir. Unfortunately, that's not how it works. But then Peter pulls Parvati for a chat. MJ is listening the entire time. Smart move. Parvati thinks she's giving him the performance of a lifetime. Peter also thinks he's giving her the performance of a lifetime. Okay? They call a very creepy truce that involved staring at each other dead in the eyes for like a while. But like, it almost reminded me of The Bachelor for a second. Like, I was like, what is he going to say? I love you? What's happening? He's just staring. He's like, maybe I got this wrong. Acting. Peter presents Phaedra, and Parvati goes, I will do whatever at this point. They are both, both of them. Phaedra's like, looks like people are saying Parvati. We're going to go with that. And then Parvati's like, oh, they're saying Phaedra. We're going to go with that. They are tossing each other under the bus. Trishelle talks to John and Sandra on the ride to where they're going, the mission, and she presents Phaedra. But see, Sandra is suspicious of Parvati still, so this is going to be the tough sell. It's not a slam dunk yet, Trishelle. The cabin mission with Dr. Will. Okay, Dr. Will. I think maybe I oversold him. All they did was show us a picture or like a quick shot of him in his like outfit, and I was like, oh my god, is he going to compete? Of course he's not competing. Of course he's just presenting a mission, and he presents it like everyone's supposed to know who he is, right? He's like, Dr. Will, hey. And the Bravo girlies are like, who is it? I don't know you. I don't know you at all. But it's an escape room. They have to find the instructions. They have to escape through tunnels. There's a map they got to find with the exits with gold or whatever. And there's these lights that flip on and off. If they're off in the cabin, then they're on in the tunnel. And if they're off in the tunnel, they're on in the cabin. But oh, guess what? If the lights are off, they're throwing bugs down the thingies and just landing all over them. I didn't realize Trishelle won Fear Factor. So I'm not worried about her. Fear Factor? I forgot about that show. So they start pouring the bugs on them. And I'm right there. MJ's out. Haggis. Apparently haggis is I'm done. Haggis, out. Next is the way Phaedra screams. Haggis! Then Kate... she just has like her fucking sweater pulled over her, and that's all she's contributing. It's just holding it over her. Meanwhile, Sheree is not doing that, but she just keeps screaming because of course shit's falling on her. Oh my god. Eventually they are like, haggis, and they run out. Now Kevin is the only one left in the house. He's like, guys, you have to come help me. I can't hold this light and then give instructions at the same time. Oh my god. Meanwhile, this was so unfair. Honestly, the people that did do it should get like triple the money or should get the money regardless or something. Because CT, Trishelle, who by the way, they kind of resolved things. CT gave Trishelle a shield and it's like, we're good now. Okay, cool. Thank you. But it's CT, John, Trishelle, Peter, Parvati, Sandra, and Kevin. They're in those fucking tunnels getting pummeled with bugs on top of them. And they are just in there. They're running through the mud. John comes out and Alan is like, oh, and covered in maggots. And he's like, that doesn't matter. I've had worse in my life, or whatever he says. John's actually kind of killing it. John, she's slaying. Okay. John is giving me what I need. Trishelle like sends CT back in. She's like, we need that gold. Go in there and get it. And it doesn't seem like he got it. They're like, it's 10 seconds left. And so CT comes out and then he's like, oh my God, there's a snake in my pants. There's a snake in my pants. And it's the gold. Alan loved that. Alan thought that was so hilarious. This is such a crazy show. Trishelle sends, oh, sorry, I already read that part. Okay, back at the castle, Parvati pulls John and she gives a performance. This is a performance of a lifetime. However, it doesn't work. She pulls out tears. She says that, maybe this is brilliant. Maybe my way of dealing with things is when I feel like I'm being attacked is to shut down and to be icy. And I realize that's what I've been. She's like taking the note that Phaedra get, like Ice Princess or Iron Maiden. And John goes, this is the first time I've observed you be this emotional. And the best thing he can say, this is all he can pull out, because he's like, no. Of all the people I've met in this game, no one demonstrates the guts that you do, which is kind of his way of saying, you tried it. Okay? You tried it. And again, Phaedra walking around, no fear. She's talking about food. She's like, that pork, whatever it was, is so good. Damn, so good walking around. Not a fear, not a care in the world. There's a little mini gathering before the round table of Trishelle, John, Kate, CT, and Kevin. Kevin eventually joins. Sandra eventually joins. But Trishelle throws out Phaedra. Kate and CT seem resistant. Sandra's just not really saying much, but Trishelle's big thing is numbers, numbers, numbers. And that's why we want to do Parvati tonight. Phaedra tonight because we need to get the numbers or something like that. Sandra seems to get that. Sandra seems to be following. Trishelle gives Phaedra quite an honorable compliment. She says she is the smartest person here. Okay. And then Phaedra comes in the room. All conversations stop. Kate leaves. Trishelle leaves. You guys need to come up with some stuff that you can like switch topics to. But I guess that's like stupid. Like if someone walks in, you're like, okay, we're going to start talking about TV shows. It's like, no, everyone knows you're talking strategy. No one's like, oh, funny, you should come in. We were just chatting about the outfit I bought yesterday. Nope. So you just kind of have to, yeah. Walking into the round table, I think they all must have to do interviews like that before they're like, that must be like this, the schedule for the day. Like they go in, and then a producer pulls each one of them individually. And then until they're done with that, then they go into the round table, because Phaedra's round table is so savage. She goes, I think it's Parvati's time to go. She has lasted a lot longer than we thought she would. What the fuck does that mean? Because she's been on her deathbed this whole time? Crazy. Okay, at the round table, Parvati opened and she sticks with her how I survive when I'm under attack is become a brick wall type of story. Like it's a pretty brilliant cover. It seems like, okay, she's acknowledging it, whatever. But then Trishelle presents Phaedra and all of her notes from her notebook. And they're not wrong. Okay? But I need her to knock it off. But she's not wrong. Phaedra never seems surprised at who's murdered. And she's also never really worried or bothered. But Phaedra, you can't set Phaedra up like this, honey. Because Phaedra goes, I don't know what you want me to do to be nervous. I'm not frantic like you. Phaedra will cut you with that shade no matter what. No matter what. The big one is Dan having said her name. That one, I think everyone should be like, yeah, that is true. Because if he's trying to get people off, like the plan wasn't to fail. His plan wouldn't have been, I'm going to say this and then they're going to banish me. His plan was then they're going to vote Phaedra, see she's a traitor, and be like, oh, Dan helped us. Honestly, I feel like Trishelle would have figured out, though. I feel like if they did go with his plan and voted Phaedra out, Trishelle would have been like, but I still think he's a traitor and I think he just sacrificed a traitor. I do. I have that much faith in Trishelle now. What the hell? Who am I? Kevin enters the chat and he calls out Phaedra for that eye twitch. And that is where Phaedra's like, what? She's like, I've never heard that before. It's just something she can't control. So she's like, fuck. But then CT asks John, what are you thinking? And I did not. He goes, I think that Parvati could be a duchess of deception and a mistress of murder. I feel like Alan was like, good boy. Alan Cummings is like, give it to him. Give him that theater. Give it. It's wonderful. So her bit didn't work. Her bit did not work. He turns to her and he said, I've heard what you've said in relation to Dan, but there's no doubt that you were his accomplice and he yours and possibly his partner in crime. He's good at the round table. He really is. John points out that she seems more nervous for banishment, but not murder. I'm like, interesting note. She didn't plead for her life at that ceremony thing. And why didn't you plead for your life, Parvati? Because you thought Phaedra was going to save you. What? Parvati does a decent job explaining those things, but Peter interrupts and he goes, okay, wait, back to Phaedra. I'm like, Peter? Peter says that Phaedra doesn't have the same fear that the rest of the faithfuls do. And then Phaedra goes, since you're the faithful king, right? Kate loved that. Kate was like, yeah. But Kate steps in and she points out that they've all totally gotten off of Parvati after having been all about Parvati. Like, and what's happened? And Peter goes, well, I had a conversation with Parvati that totally shifted my view. Okay, well, Phaedra, she hits him with a bam. Well, that's because there's a backdoor deal going on. And then she brings up the armory. Remember that moment where I was like, ooh, Phaedra was looking a little obvious by being like, I don't want to be in this room. I don't want to be in this room. Oh, she just held on to that one and she said, bam, bam. Fuck you, Peter. What was that about? Peter's like, oh, no, you missed it, but I was just like, I'm just joking. You are screwed. You are screwed for that, dude. Kate really leads them away from Phaedra and gives it to Peter pretty fucking hard. But then she is unfortunately not thinking about the Dan thing correctly. She's like, and Dan's not here because he's not good at this game. I'm like, well, no, that's not true. And that is where you kind of need the combination of all the brains to figure these things out, because Kate's figuring out other things, but like there are some strategy things that will go over the heads of some people who've not done competition shows, you know? But it's great for the show. Everything's great. Everything Kate does, working for the show. So they vote, and it's Parvati who gets it. And as Parvati walks up to say her goodbye, Trishelle mouths to Kevin, she's a traitor. And they're like, yeah. So after the round table, and Parvati's like, I'm a traitor, or I'm not a faithful, I'm a traitor. Kevin goes and talks to MJ, and he's like, I'm kind of suspicious about Peter. I'm like, yes. Get suspicious. One of his Peter pals. Yes. Kate shamelessly tells Peter that she thinks he's a traitor because he pulls her to be like, let's talk, Kate, let's talk. And she's like, maybe not a traitor, but a traitor to the faithfuls. You lied. You lied to us. And then in her confessional or her interview, she's like, I also just want him out because he's just annoying. He is. He's just annoying. Oh, shut up, Peter. You were doing so well. I mean, you want to know why he was doing so well, guys? Our expectation levels were so low. That's why he's doing so well, because we were like, I don't care about Peter. And then he did something. We're like, oh, you're not bad. And then now he's back to being the person we kind of expected he would be. It's just annoying. So now it's just Phaedra. Phaedra is left, and she goes and she meets with Alan, and he's like, it's time to recruit a new person. Who do you want to recruit? And she picks Kate. Now, you know Kate is going to say yes. You know Kate is going to say yes to that. She's going to fucking love it. I also love that Phaedra could have picked like a friend. You know, she could have picked like Sheree. No. Kate. See, thank you, Phaedra. Thinking like a producer. Kate's a perfect person at this point in the game to pick because she's a rogue wild card. You don't really know what to expect coming out of her mouth. That's why Peter wasn't a good pick, because with Peter was such a faithful. Like, it was like, oh my God, Peter, we get it. You're a faithful. That's where Kate, no one knows. So perfect choice. There's no behavior switch you have to really worry about people picking up on, you know? So perfection. Okay, let's go to the chat-a-rooney. Let's see what you guys are saying over here. Let's see what we got. God, I have to say the quality over here on this Instagram is terrible. I need to move my router closer, I think, because this is just unacceptable. You can't even see me. You can't even see me. Let's go to the chat, guys. I really hope they turn on Peter and banish him. That's right, Jasmine. Yes, we do. We do. And it's funny because like we all love Phaedra, even though she's a traitor. And so now it's funny that like we're totally on the villain side. Wouldn't we be though? We're so toxic, aren't we? We're so toxic. Hi, Colleen. Hi, Marion. I got two Colleens. Hi, both Colleens. Ms. Diamond. Hitting the like because I love when you crack yourself up. It's embarrassing. I've had people leave reviews that are like, I'm kind of over her laughing at things that aren't funny. I'm like, that's a fair assessment. That's not incorrect. Okay, let me go back. I want to see what you guys have been saying. My brother loved watching those poker shows. Oh, I would love to get back into watching them. Actually, I never have time, but I freaking love watching those Hold'em tournaments. Trishelle is an amazing player, but I don't like her microaggressions. Oh yeah. Marion, are you familiar with Trishelle from the challenge by chance? Because you want to like she has said such problematic things in the past. Such problematic things. Also, I don't know if you guys saw I think it was Peacock did some content with them, the current cast of season 2, coming up with their wish list for next season, like who they think should be cast. And Trishelle is like, I'm really good friends with Omarosa, actually. I was like, I could see it because Omarosa is also so problematic. Oh, Trishelle pulling a Dan with, since day one, I've been taking notes. Girl, bye. She did. She did pull a Dan. Peter did too much this episode. He does. Peter is feeling himself. Janelle said on 2Ts that they all knew it was Parvati since day one, but that makes zero sense since she was recruited. Oh, that's fucking funny. Good point. She was recruited. She was. That's so funny. I thought that Dr. Will was going to be added to the cast as a competitor. Yes. Yes. Angie K. Glass is looking timeless on you. Thank you, Ms. Diamond. Appreciate it. You guys are so sweet in this chat here. CT and the snake in his pants was Marion. You think CT is hot? Do you? Huh? I just cannot get there. He kind of grosses me out now. He just looks so like puffy and like sweaty to me. Love you from Denmark. Hi. Hello. I don't want to say your name wrong. Male? Phaedra's comebacks are unmatched. That is for sure. They go from all in on one person to all in on another person so quickly. That's very true. Kate really is coming through, isn't she? Now that Kevin doubting Peter is the best. Producers were like, yes. Producers are having the time of their lives. They're like, we don't have to really do much. You guys are making it happen. Phaedra recruiting Kate is amazing, but everyone is saying it's a bad decision. Is it? You see, I'm not very good when it comes to strategy, guys. That I'm horrible. I don't put 2 and 2 together. So like I'm the kind of person that will be solving something and it's like you didn't solve anything. So maybe it is. Maybe it is. Jasmine. Oh no, I'm still on the faithful side because I want CT to win. Oh, we want CT to win. I can wrap my head around that. Okay. Just Kelly said she started watching the Traitors UK. Well, I'm thinking I have to watch it too because I think Queens of Bravo posted that the Traitors UK is incredible TV, and then a bunch of other creators that I respect their opinions were like, "No, it's amazing." So that is absolutely going on. I've also heard that Traitors Australia is incredible. So I think we just gotta. How could you not know it's Parvati? Her resting face looks so suspicious. Yes, Natasha, agreed. CT was hot when he was younger, but he still never really did it for me. I love the Boston accent. I get it. Yeah. Marion says, I love the Boston accent and he's terrible. So totally my guy. Marion, you know I relate. You know I fucking relate to that. Natasha, I would have been killed because the Traitors would have known I had them figured out since the jump. Kevin is growing on me. Agreed. Kevin was doing nothing for me, but now Kevin is He's totally growing on me. See, it's funny that you guys say when CT was with DM, it made you like him because I feel like they were very toxic for each other. And I feel like we very much glamorized the relationship or romanticized the relationship because in hindsight, he was by her side when she was at her final days and stuff. But like I've done my rewatch not too long ago of the whole thing. Well, as far back as Peacock or Paramount Plus goes. And I was like, oh man, they were dark. They were a dark relationship. I had a crush on CT when he was on The Real World. Yeah. No, when they were younger. And it's funny because like Johnny Bananas, for example, wasn't that cute when he was younger. He needed to get he got some sort of forehead something. I think he like pulled his hairline down or something. Let me go over here. Alan Cumming should win an Emmy for this show. Yes, he should. Yes, he fucking should. Trishelle would have been better TV as a traitor. Yeah. The only reason that would have been kind of weird is because Phaedra's relationship with her. So I think it kind of benefited Phaedra to have someone that she could chat with and have it not be suspicious as well. Because with Parvati, it's like if she was chatting with Parvati, it'd be like, what? That's crazy. I was cracking up because how they started off the show. Okay. I do love Johnny Bananas. I love him. I love him now because he's so problematic, but I also can acknowledge he's so problematic. And if you don't like Johnny Bananas, I fully get it. Fully. Okay. 100%. I would be curious to see Nene. Oh, Nene is for sure on my ideal list. Nene Candy. Can you imagine? I think Kendrick suggested this, but one of these days, Kendrick and I are just gonna do a live where we talk about our ideal cast for Traitors, and it'll be a live because then we can like chat with you guys too. Because I think that'd be fun. I think coming up with a cast for Traitors is one of the funniest or funnest things to do, right? Because it's a huge cast. You can pick any show. There's kind of no wrong answers. So I think that's the plan. Hi, Normandy. Oh my God, I'm so international. Love you too, mean it. Oh my gosh, guys, thank you. If you have any questions for me, please go ahead and drop them. I'm gonna spend the last like maybe 5 minutes of this answering any cues. And if you don't have any, that's fine. I'm really enjoying your guys' input here. The Toms would be insane out there. Make Sandoval a traitor. Don't give Sandoval any money. Portia. I think like anyone on the cast of Atlanta would be great. For real. How's my sister's puppy doing? Thank you for asking, Miss Diamond. She's excuse me. Excuse me. She's doing wonderfully. The hardest part is keeping her from getting excited. She's one of those high energy, zoomy dogs that loves to run and jump and all that kind of stuff, but she can't while she's recovering. So she has to stay in the like little dog room office area and like will have to be crated a bunch because she just keeps wanting to jump and jump and jump. But she's good. She's just the sweetest little thing in the entire planet. Cookie. And she's old. She's a little bit old. She's like at least 13, I think. I don't know. Don't hold me to that. I heard John Cena is on Traitors season 3. Really? Huh. I wouldn't have thought that, but whatever. Interesting. Drag Race needs to send a squad next season to take on Team Bravo. Drag Race needs to send a squad. What could that be? Lala would be good on Traitors because here's what I'm gonna say. Lala would be good on Traitors because I think she'd be bad on Traitors. I feel like she'd think she was on to everyone and she'd be really outspoken, and then people would be like, she's a traitor. I don't think they'd make her a traitor, but I think that everyone would be like, are you a traitor? Because she doesn't, I don't think she understands how to have like subtlety. So I would like to see her on that. That would be fun. That would be fun. I would love to see some from Drag Race. What does that mean? Drag Race needs to send a squad to take on Team Bravo. I don't know what you mean by that, but I'm curious. Does that mean like I don't know. What does that mean? Because I feel like I like it. Let's see. Who wrote that? Portia would be hilarious too. Okay, let me go over to like Instagram. Wes would be amazing on Traitors. Did you see Johnny Bananas suggest that? Wes would be good for sure. Wes also might like be not because Wes actually always crashed and burned with his strategies. Like I mean, don't get me wrong, Wes also won, but Wes took a lot of risks and oftentimes they didn't go in his favor. So I would be very curious to see how he handled Traitors. And also I want Wes to have TV show opportunities and stuff because he was so sad leaving the challenge um and acting like he couldn't do anything ever again because he was having a kid. But I know he'll be back to the challenge. Are you kidding me? But it would be nice to have him on Traitors. Yes, Jasmine Devon. Devon for sure from the challenge. Devon for fucking sure. This was very much made for him. Absolutely. Do you think Larsa and Marcus are real or are they just holding it until the reunion? Well, now I can't tell uh if I think they got engaged, didn't they? Got a big ass rock out of it. Um all I know is I hope they are one of those toxic on and off couples that take to social media to hash out their problems because I live for it. People used to do that all the time back in the day on Facebook. I talked about it with Pia when we did our Beverly Hills Miami recap. I had this friend who, anytime she fought with her boyfriend, she would post it on her Facebook, like, what would you do if your man was out all night talking to women and blah, blah, blah? And then he would comment, and it would just be like epic drama. And so I hope that that is what Larsa and Marcus are. I hope that every time they get into a bad fight, she deletes all of his pictures again, and then she puts something shady and cryptic in her Instagram stories. And then I hope he posts with his dad again. Like I just think it's so petty because Larsa is so petty and terrible and immature and not emotionally evolved. So I don't like feel bad for her. You know, it's not like, oh, they broke up. I'm like, give me the drama. What are you guys doing? You're a mess, an absolute mess. I wouldn't be surprised if they were um genuinely together and just this petty and stupid. It also just could have been publicity. It could have just been PR. Okay. Have they announced the whole cast for season 3 of Traitors? I haven't seen it. But I miss a lot of stuff. You guys usually are the ones who keep me going. Ooh, Sonia Morgan. Oh my God, the chaos for real. And I feel like they have, because this is one of those shows that follow rules. I feel like they have a liquor rule, you know, because most shows don't let you have more than I think it's 2 drinks an hour, I believe, because they had to crack down for all sorts of reasons. And Sonia not being able to get sloshed would be great TV. I actually might like that. And I don't really like a lot of the OG New York people like everyone else seems to do. Okay. I think I'm going to wrap this up because it's already 10 o'clock. Well, love you guys. Love you so much. Mean it. Thank you for joining me this morning. And I will be doing this again tomorrow morning with Kendrick. Kendrick will be joining me for the weekly wrap up. We will be talking more about Larsa and Marcus. Let's see, what else do I have on here? We'll go over the Tamra and Shannon update. We'll do some teen mom stuff with Janelle and David and CPS and all this shit. And some Britney Spears stuff. And also I'm gonna get more into the Diddy allegations because Omarion is going to, I think, testify against Diddy. So we shall discuss that. But enjoy the rest of your Saturday. And if I'll see you tomorrow, then I'll see you tomorrow. And love you all. Mean it. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.